Cheers, man.
Cheers, man.
So yeah,
We got a big one for you today. We've got stuff about a underground installation that Will found. So take it away, Will.
yeah. So there's this area in Russia that was recently discovered. Well, I say recently. It was about 2011, I think. It was discovered to have like about 100-meter drop down, and it was all hollowed out. It's like a massive square kind of cave, and you could see like all the walls had been properly smoothed out. And there was no signs of anything there. There was no like signs of activity, like no evidence that someone had dug it out. But yeah, it was definitely like man-made, because you could just see there was no way that the angles on some of the stones and the cuts
Perfectly
were
cut.
perfectly cut. Yeah.
Industrial looking. It looked like you showed me the pictures, and it looked industrial. Like looked like an empty space that could be filled with all manner of just machinery. And there was a ventilation duct that was like really thin.
Yeah.
But it looked like something. Yeah, tell you what it looked like. Like when they showed the dimensions of it, that the crew, the Cosmopiask group, I think it's Cosmopiask group. It was a Russian expedition group that went out to see the place, wasn't it? And it looked like an installation for like an underground turbine, like an empty space that you'd shove a turbine or some sort of machinery in there. There was like a square a cavity. They call it a cavity, underground cavity, square cavity about bigger than 3-story house buildings stacked on top of each other, like 3 houses stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
And then a ventilation duct. It was like smaller than a person, just small enough for a person to fit through. And yeah, the photos you showed me of it, like, and that wasn't even just the only part of it. It was like there was the further levels down from there, and you're wondering how people can like manage to do that so perfectly straight and flat like that.
Yeah, incredible precision. But even outside, because originally, like the background to this was that, as we know, the Nazis during the war were investigating like alien activity, trying to find secret like underground civilizations, like
the Thulian,
as we know with the
they called themselves the Thulian Society, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think it was Himmler that was fronting it, and they were looking for these supposedly secret underground civilizations that existed that had like extremely advanced technology, and they happened to stumble. They knew they were in the right place, but because they marked it with like a swastika, like on the outside of where they thought it was. I don't know if it was not known if they actually ever discovered it, but they knew roughly where it was.
Right.
But there was no evidence that they had actually been there and discovered it themselves.
But they made sure to put a mark down.
Yeah.
To like walk past this place. If you see a swastika just outside the entrance, you'll know it's our place. Like that, we've designated that place as our place.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
So they're onto something. Like, I mean, the cave hasn't been entirely excavated anyway. I mean, they haven't even been down to the lowest depths of it yet.
It looks. It doesn't even look like a cave though. It looks like someone built that place, and like that's an entrance, like an opening. Like I said, calling it a cave doesn't do that place justice, because it is just straight lines. There's no organic curves. Like in Gobekli Tepe, there's like organic curves to stuff. But this looks more like it was just made to spec. Even the ventilation shaft, carved out of solid rock, looks like it's made to spec.
Yeah.
Like there's little openings, like widenings of the shaft at certain points of the shaft. So you have like almost circular sort of spout widenings that narrow and go up, then open out into a spout, and then go up and narrow. Like that was by design.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, like ensuring that gases can be trapped through like filters that were installed there.
Yeah.
But now they're not actually there anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's more to that.
Yeah.
Why would they have those little bulges every so often along that ventilation shaft? There's got to be a reason.
Yeah. They were onto something, like, with whoever designed it, like, knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
But it was often compared to, like, well, the entrance of it was compared to, like, how the Chinese hide their pyramids, like the ancient Chinese civilizations hid their pyramids with, like, fast-growing, like, foliage, plants and things. Like something that would cover it entirely, you know, so it couldn't be seen.
I see. What was the reason of hiding it, though? Why did they do that?
I don't know. I guess they couldn't be discovered or invaded.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see.
Or protection, if it was like a pyramid that was being used for just to like honour the dead, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they've got treasures there, and they don't want them to be discovered. But anyway, nothing was discovered in this place in Russia.
No, because like everything, if like you say, the Faulian Society was a real thing, and they did come across this place,
they could have
taken something. Yeah, they could have, because like it's on Russian ground, so either the Russians took it and the Russians know what's going on with it, and maybe the Nazis dug deeper and found something even more, so that the Russians didn't actually bother to look at. And yeah.
But nobody knows exactly where this is going to go down to, like, because they know it goes deeper, but they couldn't go deeper.
Oh, that's creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard, like, you hear tales about, like, from, was it that Area 51 thing where they say there's subterranean caves that go deeper down than what they've excavated, and, like, they've encountered these things, like, in cave areas. They don't know where they came from, but like they fought each other and stuff, like because they were like they just accidentally happened upon each other.
Yeah.
And they were just like, and they didn't know what to do, so they started attacking each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like you hear about these, like it's no smoke without fire, is what I'm saying. Like there's got to be some tale to this that connects these things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
The fact that nobody's gone back there, there was a guy that went there recently, wasn't there? Another young Russian lad that went there on his own and took loads and loads of pictures and put them online on like their version of Russian Facebook. But I mean, he's the only one that's been back there recently. No one else has and that was like 7 years ago. So no one has been back there to report on anything else. No further investigation has been made. Right. Okay. But like the thing that's weird is like there's no like nearby geological activity that could suggest that this was like a natural occurring process. Like there's no volcanism nearby. It's an area completely devoid of any like earthquake prone.
See, that was my first thought. Maybe it's volcanic, like possibly. But even so, with those straight lines, you do find yourself lacking a bit. Like you're like, what?
Yeah. Perfectly straight cuts.
Yeah. The idea goes that some of these tunnels that were built by our like government and that they discovered tech that they confiscated off the Nazis.
Yeah. And
it was like boring tech, but it wasn't like boring tech as in like diamond tipped drill bits. It's like hot enough to melt rock. It's like a laser, sort of like a laser thing that like melts rock and then just creates a massive hole and then just carries on going. Just this perfect sort of smooth holes.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine it, you could think of like handheld tools that would do the exact same thing. Like scraping down rock into exact forms of like blocks with these, what they call it, vitrification tools.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can imagine that.
It makes you think like the question is this some kind of like super advanced civilization that's dug this, or is it like was it dug by using like medieval techniques?
Well, this is the thing. Like the Gobekli Tepe gives me like a alien kind of vibe. Gobekli Tepe gives me an alien type of vibe, but this site, because it looks very humanistic. Like there's something human about the way it's designed. I think that's like a human dwelling of some sort. Purely because of the way it's set up, like it looks like that. But the Gobekli Tepe one looks like the pre-existing cave that some random people happened upon in the past and went, oh, this looks like a good cave dwelling to set up shop and like live in. Because the tunnels are sort of bow shaped. Like the walkway tunnels are a bit bow shaped like that. They go curved like that. It doesn't look human made. Like it feels alien. But that one we saw like that looks human.
Yeah. It's the weird thing is there's no evidence of tools being used to carve it. That's the other weird thing. So it does suggest leading to more towards the fact that was something much more powerful used. Something like you say, like a disc cut, like a laser.
Yeah.
It's almost laser precision. I'd like to know. I'd be interesting to see just how fine the cuts were.
I saw a video online that was released. It's just online. And I saw it, and it's a laser with a drone, a retrofitted drone with a laser, like a drone retrofitted with a laser. It's firing at this car, blows up the car with a laser. You can see the red line, the red laser. Lasers exist now, man. They do exist.
It's scary. They use them out at sea, don't they, on their battleships?
Yeah, they test them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like quasi-known tech now. Like, it's not in the realm of science fiction. They have these things. The problem is powering them and having it run and gun technology.
Yeah.
But it seems like they sorted out some of the kinks by mounting one of these things on a drone. So, yeah, we're in the age of laser fighting and laser anything, really.
Yeah. I really hope they don't find a way to, like, shrinkify, I guess that's the word, like, the amount of equipment required to make a laser and then mount it onto, like, a drone, and then imagine people, like, using them on drones and stuff. Imagine the damage and what people could do. The new level of theft, you just burn his way into a building with a laser.
Yep.
Or if you didn't like someone, you could easily burn their house down with it. It's kind of scary stuff, really.
Well, have you heard about like New Jersey and that? Like those things look like they could be mounted with stuff. Like that's scary. You see that and you're like, what? No one knows what's going on with that. Like,
yeah, it's all sketchy stuff. It's really like I don't know, secret tech or.
Well, you look at it and you think that glowy thing on it looks like it's retrofitted to just a normal plane. So I think there's like a hybridization of tech going on where you've got existing tech mounted with new tech. And they're testing out their capabilities with this new tech wherever it came from. And it's either being tested by a foreign adversary or by America itself. But why would they want to worry their own general public with that? It could be a show of force by America, but it could also be a foreign adversary. I don't know quite which camp it comes in.
Yeah.
The rumour is it's like Iran that have like a mothership that have launched these things.
Yeah.
But like when I say mothership, it's like an undersea thing. Like the idea is because have you seen Metal Gear Solid? Have you ever played Metal Gear Solid series?
Yeah.
Guns of the Patriots, I think it is. The ending is, spoiler alert, the ending is that there's this Arsenal gear. They call it Arsenal gear.
Right.
Remember Picatinny Arsenal? Place
Right.
in New Jersey. Arsenal gear is a fully submersible, movable base. You can go from one area to another under sea and then launch craft from it.
Wow.
In this case, other smaller Metal Gears. But in reality, it would be flying craft that come from the sea, that go into the air, fly around the place, and then report back wirelessly the information that they've gathered to the main craft that has all the tech, all the machinery, all the digital computers, whatever you need to process the information quickly on the fly before there's any chance of interception.
Right.
Because normally what happens is when you've taken this information, you need to transfer it to some other place on the ground. But what if the other place on the ground is just on the beach, where this thing's just lying in wait on the beach somewhere or off the coast?
Yeah.
So you can easily communicate, transfer information instantly, and have it processed instantly without any threat of interception or changing along the way of the transportation of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with, I think.
Is that something that could, like, if it's on the seafloor, sure, they could pick it up by a sonar, couldn't they? Or is it too deep?
Well, it depends on what detection, evasion stuff they've got on their craft. The whole idea is about stalking your enemy and making them not aware that you're there until the very moment that you can go, boop, I'm here, boo, and then they're like, turn on all their lights, turn on all their equipment, everything's go, go, go. They get all the information they need. They evade signals detection and frequency interference, whatever way they can. I don't know what modes though they are, but they must have some sort of modal way of doing that, because otherwise they would be shot out of the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they would be shot out of the sky, but then they're not being shot out of the sky, so there's an issue there. They don't know how to tap into these enemy craft to take them down.
Yeah.
At least take them down safely. So, I think we've got a big issue.
Yeah.
In America, and it's the tech is stuff that is derived from something else. I reckon it's surely gotta be, like, because like you see some of the videos and it's like veering off in different directions and like just suddenly going whoop, and then it's there and there's 1 minute and then it's over there the next, like not normal movement.
No. That's also like interesting because if you sit your wherever you've got your battle station on under the sea floor, you can really avoid detection that way, because even if they're using sonar, you can just, if you disguised it properly, you could just claim it's the bottom of the sea floor. You know, you could trick the sonar into thinking it is literally just the bottom of the sea floor or a rock on the bottom.
Well, that's what I'm saying, like mimicry. Like you ensure that you mimic your surroundings and obfuscate whichever way you can, disrupting patterns and making patterns seem like other patterns that are benign.
Yeah.
Until the very moment that you want to reveal yourself to commence an operation, which is what they did. They're blaring, all lights blaring, all systems on, all everything go.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't know what to attack because there'd be too much to attack.
Yeah. Rather than just a slow flow in, it's just like boom, where like lights on, here's the show, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
And they were talking about was it Mexico and the border in the state hearing. So what you said about creating too much confusion so they don't know what to focus on. That's what the cartels are doing now as well.
Right.
Same tactics. They wait and get all their things in position until they need to go, and then it's all like, whoa, look over there, no, look over there, look over here.
Yeah,
like
distraction techniques.
Too many distractions.
Yeah. It's clever. I feel like there's a lot of that going on. I think they've been doing that for years, like not just the cartel or like like regimes and that, but like even our own politics, just causing you to look at, feeding information to different social media outlets, getting them to focus on issues that people will take, a more bigger interest in.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, that thing slides under the radar because, that big issue that everyone suddenly, could have been a big compromising issue for the government just slides under the radar.
What do you think's the big compromising issue now that could be sliding under the radar because of this whole Well, the weird thing is, we haven't had any news of this on I haven't seen it on ITV News or Channel 4 News, anything about this New Jersey thing yet. So if it was meant as a distraction from something else, we haven't seen it in the UK.
Yeah. I feel like there must be like, even if outlets wanted to report on it, I feel like the government can kind of choose to shut it down. Choose to shut it down and say like, oh yeah, you can't touch that issue, you know. We'll talk about this instead. We'll give you some more information on something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I concur with that.
I think there's definitely some kind of government control with what media can actually say. They call it embargo, or don't they, or something like that?
Yeah. Well, you've got gagging orders, which is a different thing. Like individuals applied to individuals, but an embargo, that could be applied to an entire company. I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when you've got people like twisted as Rupert Murdoch controlling like media outlets, you know, the government he's in their pocket already. So
yeah.
But yeah, go back to your question you were just asking. You know, what do I think the issue is that's being covered up at the moment? Probably anything to do with Elon. Elon's up to something. I mean, I keep bringing him up, but there's definitely some, you know. He's trying to get in their pocket to get through other things. You know, push his own agenda, I think.
Robots we don't want or need.
Robots and Mars. I think Mars is like a big... But space in general is like a huge... Because it is, like we've mentioned before, it's the next big frontier to conquer. Or at least have a footing in. Like... asteroids that are worth trillions of dollars and you know whatever they find on Mars or the Moon or any other planet in our solar system.
Resource rich areas. That's another thing. I watched a game today called Ground God, and it's all about Illuminati and aliens and stuff like that. And it says something. The guy who created the game died in weird circumstances. Like he died with like stab wounds to his legs and stuff like that. With his wife who was disabled. So the idea is that he was having lovers' spats with her about things because the disability thing was becoming a contention. He felt emotionally unstable, kind of thing, and that's the whole idea behind it. But it was kind of weird the way it suddenly happened, kind of thing. Like it just all of a sudden happened, and it coincided with him making this game, like after he made that game, right? And it said that there was an agreement made with the aliens and us, and that we would exchange genetic capital for like tech and stuff like that,
right?
And that we wouldn't be allowed to spacefarer, like go actually like use the next level of tech until 2025. That's what that said in the game.
Right.
We're kind of approaching 2025 now, and now you see that tech on, like, you see visibly that there is tech that can do weird stuff.
Yeah.
And we're allowed to actually see it now. And it just kind of weird. Yeah, it feels oddly...
You mean, is that reference to, like, AI and stuff like that, like robots? And
no, like the stuff in the sky. Well, all of it, really. Like, the AI stuff we were introduced to, and now visually we're introduced to this new tech that's, like, flying around in the skies in America.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be developed by us, but, like, I've seen another thing that was funded by the American government called Area 51 for the PS2, right?
Right.
The American government funded this game.
Really?
They sponsored it.
Right.
Right? Like the American military. And in it, there's a spaceship with like glowing blue, and it's a very specific kind of bluey, aqua kind of bluey, but like a neon bluey with a hint of green. And it looked exactly like the stuff on those planes. like the human and the human hybridized tech.
It's like an ion engine or something, isn't it? Something that uses different type of fuel that makes it burn that colour.
I have no clue. Like, no, I couldn't tell you. Like, you know, I said that Bob Lazar, according to the reverse speech thing, he knows something. The reverse speech analysis shows that he's trying to mislead people, but that he knows something. Because he said the great fraud continues. In the reverse speech, they they put their analysis on there online, and he says that in it. So he's not telling everything, like tech wise, about it. He's not giving away any tech details properly, but he knows of it. Like, he knows there's something going on.
Yeah.
And I saw that in the game, and it's very distinct memory, because I remember, like, that's the first time you see a spacecraft and you think, oh, that's the alien craft, but it's like actually like the craft that's been given to the human beings to have a fun go on. It's not actually like a proper official one, so they've been like testing and adding bits to it.
Right.
And it's got like a greeny blue glow, like I said, like that kind of green, but then add that in that kind of tinge of blue.
Right.
On Brewdog with that green, but then lessen the amount of green. Actually, the intensity of that green glow, right, mixed with this blue.
Okay.
And then on like a what you'd call a normal traditional flying saucer, but it looks more like curved, like a manta ray, like the one that the humans were given. So it's more designed for human beings to operate on and test. And then you've got the actual craft, which are like traditional, perfectly round saucers. And it just gave me those kind of vibes.
Right.
Like it was a piece of tech that was mounted onto that thing, onto that plane, whatever it was.
Right.
Hybridized craft.
Bit like a trial, just a trial run.
Well, they were. It felt like they were itching to try it out. Like they're proud to be there. Like they got all the lights blaring. They're flying underneath helicopters, having a whale of time. So yeah.
I wonder if it's the case that if the American military's got something like that, like Area 51, surely other countries have like managed to infiltrate it and find all these, you know.
This is
these plans, and then it could be anyone. It could be anyone's thing, couldn't it? So that's the thing.
It's the free exchange of information, like the conspiracy rumor, not rumor, but there's another conspiracy theory guy I listened to on Art Bell. He said that the Russians and the Americans could collaborate with each other.
Right.
So if the Russians and the Americans were collaborating with each other in the 90s, that would suggest that there was further collaboration with Russia and Iran. Like, because they were mostly kind of allies, like not amazingly good allies, but like not like having a go at each other.
Yeah.
Just like with Russia or America, not amazingly good allies, but not having a go at each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that current state in the 90s, there would be a lot more sharing involved in exchange of what they know and what they don't know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like I say, there's like missing jigsaws. There's missing pieces to this like puzzle.
Yeah.
And if you click one in, then it allows you to do such and such a thing, and you might keep that as your ace in the hole. Go, I'm gonna do this on this particular time as a